What's up, everybody? Badass here with another Starfield video. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you're enjoying the content. And if you are enjoying the content, remember, please drop a like. And if you want more, if you need more, subscribe. Let's get into it. Let's go. There she is.
Captain, over here.
Gotcha.
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War.
Oh, he was the one
former
sentenced to death.
head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus.
Yep.
Woe to the defeated in Old Earth Latin.
Huh.
A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it. A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels. But
It's kind of weird.
there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
Hmm.
But before we get up there, there's something else I thought you should know. My relationship with the UC. They
Okay.
called him the program.
What am I supposed
Secure
to...
the...
Okay. I guess we're supposed to say this.
I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Okay. I can't really say this to her because she's a clone. I mean, some of the dialogue they want me to say is, I don't think really matches the situation, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I don't really want to say any of these, to be honest. It's not their problem. She's a clone. I could see their issue, to be honest. And I'm not really here to dog the family and get her on my bad side. I don't think she's using us to distract. I'm not sarcastic. And I know what he did. I have no other dialogue.
I just thought you deserved. He
Okay.
had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne.
Yeah, we've learned this already.
A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the colony war to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him.
I do think the voice actress does a really good job with her, though. Yeah, I don't know about this. I guess I'm gonna say this so I can keep her on a good side or whatever, but I don't really feel like that.
I appreciate you saying that. I just
Yeah,
thought
I mean,
you
having
deserved
sympathy
to
for
know,
a clone is a little
considering
weird.
how much you've done already.
Holding a grudge against where a person comes from, that is both ignorant
Yeah,
and
this
cruel.
is getting political. That's the
Just the way
problem.
things
They're
are
using the clone
sometimes.
thing as,
You
yeah,
know,
they're using
while
the
we've
clone
got
thing
a
to get
second,
political. I
was
think it's a
there
little
anything
ridiculous.
else we needed to discuss?
It's
I know
not
you got
it's not
dropped into the
relevant.
middle of this pretty fast.
Those
Or if you've got any last-minute business
Hold
to
on.
attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
I don't think those word lines or verbiage lines, whatever you want to call it, were relevant. They wanted to kind of bring out some sort of political thing, like some prejudice thing or something. It's like we're not being prejudiced here. She's a clone. She's not like a real human being. That's ridiculous. So I guess I got to say things that I don't really want to say so I can move on with the story. Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin.
Yeah.
All parties,
Yeah,
please
that was a little
proceed to the cabinet
ridiculous in my
chambers.
opinion. I'll have to look the video back
Sounds like
again.
our cue.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
Here we go.
it sounded like they were just kind of forcing something that really wasn't relevant. I don't know. No one's being prejudiced against clones. I can absolutely see their concern. If you're cloned after someone who slaughtered a bunch of people, then yeah, you're gonna have a concern about the being that was cloned, you know? But whatever. I'm not gonna get too twisted up in that. I mean, they pretty much forced us down that path. Either to be an asshole. I don't know. They pretty much forced us down that path. I did not like that very much.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request.
Okay.
Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger
Is she a
and her
daughter, though?
associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
You know, I'm kind of having a small issue with this, to be honest with you, because I'm almost kind of thinking this chick, because she's a clone of her father, whatever, and they're involved with the Xeno warfare, she may have been the one that brought it there, or maybe was experimenting on it there or something. Like, she may have had something to do with it. Let's see.
It's a little intimidating.
Whatever risks
I
exist, they are
understand.
outweighed by this imminent threat. I agree.
On the
The
surface,
request
yes, but
should be granted.
it's just kind of a,
I'm
it's kind of
inclined
weird
to
that she was the
agree.
only one there.
As am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point.
Yeah, she
doesn't
was the
it?
only one there. Yeah.
Very well. I consent.
Well, not the only
The
one.
galaxy was lucky you
the
were
only
here
one
today,
alive.
Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full
Okay,
backing
let's hope-
to
hopefully
make
made
the
the right
request to... What was that?
Attention.
I have
An
things
incident has
I
occurred.
wish to discuss with you
Yeah, this is not the time.
when you have time.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Yeah. I'm thinking she has something to do with it, to be honest.
More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
There must be another. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the
She may have
evacuation
something
of
to
the
do with it.
spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
Okay.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
All right. All right, cool. I hope I'm incorrect. I hope she has nothing to do with it, but it's kind of looking like that, to be honest.
You! The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
Stop! We're trying to help you!
Please! I can't stop!
Well, what's going on?
That's it. Now hit him with everything you've got.
One
like under some sort of weird control?
Once again, we are triumphant.
It's odd. Threw me off.
Come then, meet your death.
Okay.
Lights out on that one.
Okay. This is weird. Okay. Incapacitate. So it looks like they're not dead, they're just incapacitated. Okay.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port
I didn't know
and
that
they
the
just started
Terramorph can, like,
screaming.
mind control people. Alright.
We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Okay.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not suggesting. It's documented behavior. The result of the projection, though, can vary wildly. Some folks just shrug it off. Others hallucinate. And some lose control altogether. They'll lash out at anyone around them, but still be aware while they're doing it. Those cases, you'll either need to knock them out with EM fire, or free them by killing the Terramorph.
Okay. Yeah.
I honestly was just wondering the same thing. But no, you don't need to worry about me. I've had a Terramorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible.
Okay.
So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there. Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Okay, so we're gonna have to put that weapon in our favorited items here. Okay. So we're gonna have to favorite this. Let's put it. We're not gonna be using the cutter right now, so well, let's go.
I heard something.
No time to waste.
Captain,
stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move.
All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
A chair! A chair! You might back up. Don't just stand there. Good.
I'm not hitting it. Okay. Trying to find the crit shot on it.
spots. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad. We're barely holding our perimeter.
Okay.
They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men.
Okay.
Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can. I'm not sure how many are left. Be careful.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
Okay.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. We're not afraid, but we'll stay here and hold the line if that's what you want. You're the experts.
Okay.
Your call. We're on the line.
Okay, cool. Let's be the terramorph.
Oh God! Captain! You're going to be okay! It's not real! Whatever you're experiencing right now, it's not real! We have to put down that fort!
Here they come along the path to end their living days at last. We should leave when we can.
So I'm going to change my suit. Give me 1 second here. We're going to change our suit.
What is this, a new surprise? Let's see how quickly it can die.
You handled yourself well back there.
Okay. Get the other one.
Target down. Nice work, Captain.
The rest of the city is safe, thanks to us. You deserve whatever accolades you have coming.
She keeps wanting to talk. Hold on.
I wanted to thank you for giving me the chance to work with you. I know we met under, unusual circumstances. You seem to be acclimating well to Constellation. Are you enjoying working with them?
Okay, now we're having this conversation. Okay, come on.
I think none of us were expecting what we have found. Well, perhaps Mateo. You have certainly become a vital part of the organization. That is a credit to your abilities. If I may, From what you have seen, do you think I fit in well with the rest of Constellation?
Of course. Let's see.
No, I do not. But I find it hard to quantify. Many of the other members are polite, but distant. I worry that my background and my actions concern them. I have not shared much, but everyone knows I worked with smugglers for years. I am no stranger to violence.
She could help us
and
smuggle
death.
shit then.
Yes, exactly. I survived. That was the only goal. For those that have not lived it, it can be difficult to imagine
All right.
or accept. Others here have seen conflict, but for more noble causes. Vladimir is the only one here who can begin to understand. He was the one who pressed the group to include me.
Okay.
I lack his charm. He puts others at ease. I fear my presence does the opposite. That is kind of you. You also have a lot going.
I do.
I find expressing affection difficult, but truly. Thank you. I know this seems trivial. Perhaps childish. I have just always relied only on myself. I have never been surrounded by people like this. By a group I wish to be a part of. Does that make sense?
I'm glad we're having this conversation as the city is burning. That's great.
Thank you. That is reassuring.
Just trying to butter her up so she
discussing these
stays
things
as a companion.
is challenging for me. I hope now you can better understand why I wanted to keep the circumstances of our meeting quiet. I wanted to thank you for not saying anything to Vladimir. I know that you said you wouldn't, but it is still a relief. I would like my contributions to Constellation to amount to more than violence.
Okay.
It would have been, to some. Thank you for talking this over with me. It is good to know that at least one member of Constellation understands me.
Alright. Cool. Now that we got your feelings out of the way, we can continue on the mission. That seems to be pretty important in this game, everyone's feelings. It's like violence and then therapy sessions. Alright.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right people in the right place.
Seriously.
Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the
That
occasion.
guy's like an Asian accent.
Captain,
He
we
looks
should
Latino.
report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with.
Some of the stuff in this
Take
game
care
is
of
weird.
yourself, Sergeant.
Okay. Alright. Let's see if we can fast travel there. Okay. Okay.
Nothing's getting to the cabinet.
That's a relief. Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
We're
Yes,
counting
ma'am.
on you, Captain.
Ah, there you
Don't
are.
let my people's sacrifice
I believe
be in vain.
we have some things we should discuss.
Okay.
Those creatures kill
Captain?
UC citizens.
Hadrian,
They're not killing
it would
anyone.
appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You know what? Fuck it.
I had some ideas on that front, Captain, but we'll get to that. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet.
Okay.
You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places.
Mm-hmm.
As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
There we go.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data.
There you go.
Get you access to those credits and real estate you're after.
Mm-hmm.
So, will you help us?
Of course.
It has its perks. Only citizens can purchase property in the city. We also pay reduced prices on most goods
we've heard this
and
before
services
in the,
across the UC.
The museum thing.
There's also a credit disbursement when you first join. Help get you on your feet.
Cool.
But above all, you'd become a dedicated part of the greatest faction in the galaxy. If you're willing to help us, we can open that door.
All right, sounds good.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall.
Okay.
And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Have my attention.
Officer.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer
Responsibility to call their
Kulkarni.
family.
Start getting a plan together for that data.
Got a lot of calls.
There are so many different groups across the settled systems, it's hard to keep up with all the work they're doing.
All right, let's go.
Okay, hello.
These orders. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the Cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. the ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun, to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data.
We got this.
But that's a lot easier said than done.
There we go. Yes.
Very funny. This is going to be hard enough already. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us.
Okay.
Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
Okay.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
Okay.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun?
We're probably going to do stuff for them.
Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
It sounds as though I will enjoy this.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
Okay.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
Okay.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life, and someone who very likely hates her guts.
Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm anyone. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises.
Okay.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
Okay.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge.
When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here.
He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Yes, just like us. How magnanimous of you.
Of course, but there is another wrinkle.
Okay.
We're not 100% sure Balmore is actually still alive.
Oh.
His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. 'Cause. 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 'Cause.
The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out. The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador.
Okay. All right.
Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Okay.
It would at least be a speedier negotiation. But I, of course, hope the ambassador is alive and well.
Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Ah, yes. They build a monument to the people they lost, but not the people they killed. I cannot help but notice that the Colony War Memorial is in direct line of sight of this embassy.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby.
I wonder how many times one side or the other has threatened to close this embassy down over the years.
More than one? All that security and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Yep.
You're allowed 3 places. Conference room, lobby, or the ambassador's office. You set foot anywhere else, there's going to be problems.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The Eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right. I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go?
See if we can persuade.
You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me.
Okay.
Understood. I'm listening. I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility. Oh, please. Buttering me up isn't gonna get us anywhere.
Okay.
It's possible I might be letting my history cloud my judgment. Possibly. Working on borrowed time, aren't we? There's a lot of scared people out there right now, and I could do something about it. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it.
Okay.
You go in once. You get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight.
Okay.
Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks.
No problem.
So, do we have an agreement? Excellent. Follow me.
Beautiful. How can you resist that face? Come on. Let's go. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, where are we going? Is there shit to steal in here? Oh, we're not allowed to steal. Dang it. Hoping there's some ammunition in there.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Code generators just this way. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights.
Cool.
Two unlikely allies, I guess.
All right. Thank you. Oh, they got the secret door over here. Okay. We're gonna have to come back and check this place out. No, we're not allowed to steal. Dang it. Okay. These snake symbols. Let's go to the elevator. Guess what those were?
This is certainly different than anything else in New Atlantis.
It is. Okay. It's considered theft. Okay. It didn't say steel. Okay.
Decades unsupervised, and it seems this tree has decided it now owns this place.
Oh,
come on!
Yeah. I wonder if we're not doing damage to it. Okay.
Yes! Try it! Best not to leave anything useful behind.
Let's see if we can get through here. Okay. Oh. I'm stuck in a corner here. Okay. Some of the combat in this just feels so odd. Let's see what we got here. Some chunks. I'm kind of trying to do a better job of scavenging and stuff, to be honest. Noble light, not sure what that is, but we'll take it. Probably give her some stuff.
You cannot beat me! Where have they gone? There you are!
Okay. Let's okay, move this way. Kinda got a little lost in there, sorry. She getting shot at. Okay. Be a little more careful. Okay. Up here we go. There we go. Good job. See if we can go this way. Oh, here we go. For the power, approach the intercom. Okay, cool. Here we go. I don't know what the game's doing right now. I'll be honest with you. Oh my lord.
Did they have anything of value?
Yep. Wow, the combat in this is really the movement's very wonky.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
Okay.
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Harmless spores, you have my word, but hard to navigate. Hence why I was guiding you through the intercoms to restore the environmental controls. And release me.
Okay.
It is the sap of the tree that gives it its... well, perhaps not a topic for this exact moment. But I must know of the rest of the city. Does it still stand? Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code.
Yep.
So the UC requires information then. On terror morphs, presumably, Do I see this all clearly?
You got it.
The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
You have mine as well, for what that is worth.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
Okay, let's get it.
Let's hope it still works. And there. Let it be used for good.
No problem. Will do. Okay, so it is in here. Cool. Sweet.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks. They fly around like they own the settled systems. And they like to use old abandoned facilities.
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So the old man was still lurking around in there. Fine work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors.
Okay.
When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter.
Will do.
Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Okay. Okay.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules.
Okay.
Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units.
Okay.
Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
Okay. These archives, huh? Return the data. It's a lot of running back and forth. A lot of running back and forth.
Hey.
There you are. Captain, Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
Okay.
Time for us to start getting some real answers, and figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. Yes. It will be. Percival and I have done our damage. This is us starting to put some things right. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Okay.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Let's do it.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Sweet. Citizenship, man. Good little bachelor pad.
Hi. How you doing?
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen? Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
Cool. Well, it looks like a good place to stop the video. I appreciate y'all stopping by. I know there's a lot of options out there, and I will see you on the next one. Late.